One of the drives in my Synology NAS has failed, and we're going to swap it out today. Hey everybody, this is Tom with Tom's Tech Show, and today I've got this drive, got a new hard drive here. I had to do a quick order. That's a nice thing about ordering some things from Amazon and stuff when you've got, things like hard drive failures and stuff. That I can just go get a new drive, same size as the one, actually the same model as the one I'm replacing, and get it shipped to me really quickly and be able to get it swapped out. So I've set up, so let's see, we need this. So here we see I've got a critical drive. My drive 1 has failed. There was no warning, which was the odd part, right? There was no warning to why it failed or what was going on with the drive. The nice thing about it, this is at my volume 2 here, or volume 1, I guess, here. So the nice thing, I'm using what's called a Synology hybrid RAID. So when you set up the drives, right, you can set up several drives to look like one drive. Right? So I've got 4 hard drives here. They all look like one volume. You lose the space of one drive, so they're 5.5 terabytes. So there's 4 of them. So that gets me like a 16 terabytes of space instead of the 20 that you would think you would get. But what it's doing is it's writing the information to all of the drives, and it's creating parity. Like these 2 bits on one drive have to equal one of the bits on the other drive, and then it allows you to maintain the drive even though one has failed. Now you can set up some of these that are, get the crinkly stuff out of the way, set up these so that you have more than one drive. Like in, if I'm going to use one of these Synology more business type NAS things, I'll set up more than one drive. I can actually add a spare drive. So if one of the drives fails, it just swaps out with the spare and tells me that this one's bad, rebuilds the array, and then you're good to go. You're not losing any information. Well, with the Synology hybrid RAID, you can lose one drive in the process, and the risk, right, always is that when you've been running drives for a long time, they're all old. Like if you put all the drives in at the same time, they're all the same age, and particularly they're out of the same lot of drives. So what often I will do in like a business environment is buy a couple of drives and swap them out so that I have some fresh drives in there all the time, and that the lot number will be different, all of that, so that you can keep fresh media in there, and then you mark the dates that you're putting them in and where you're putting them, and just continually cycling through this is like every several years, right? Maybe you start doing it once a year. If you've got a 12 drive NAS, maybe the first year you swap one of them, then next year you swap 2 of them, and then the next year you swap, then start going 2, and then eventually maybe 3, until you've got them all swapped in like 5 years. So that way you're always continually putting in fresh media, and then you got to destroy the old stuff and all that. But that allows you quite a bit of flexibility, and security with that type of a RAID situation, and having the extra spares, definitely makes it beneficial, right? So this one, we've just got a simple Synology hybrid RAID here. So this one drive is crashed. We can look at the other volume here. It's got 4 SSDs, 1 terabyte SSD drives. So if I want to copy something that's really fast and have it on fast storage and get to it, I can do that. So I've got 2 different classes of storage here, the SSDs and the regular spinny hardware drives. So, but number 1 has failed. So we're going to switch over to the remote camera here. So if you can see here, this drive right here has the red light, and I've got the alarm blinking. It was having the alarm beeping, and that of course I had to shut off. But here we're just gonna pull the drive out. We can do this. It's dead, so the NAS does not really even recognize it anymore. So desktop. Now we can see that it sees that the drive is gone. Okay, so these drive bays are pretty easy. I just have to take and pry this end out and then pull the other end out, and it pulls these little pins that are in here out of the drive. Do the same thing on the other side. Some drive trays may actually have screws in them, and then you've got to go and get a screwdriver and deal with that. But these are nice because this is kind of a, you know, regular desktop Synology drive. Now, if I'm looking at these two drives, okay, I'm looking here. Okay, we got 6 terabytes, and we've got 6 gig, NASware 3. I mean, most of the things really match up. They're both Western Digital Red drives, so it looks like we're pretty compatible with space and all of that. I like, if I'm going to swap out drives, I definitely like putting in the same class and type of drive. You can mix drives. I mean, that's definitely doable. Now this thing, you just take it and push it back in there, and it clips in on this one. So take this side, just get it in there, give it a couple of pushes, and it clicks in. Now we need to take this, and we will slide it back in here. Okay, we've got the drive back in here. We got a green light blinking on our display here. So now we got to switch back to our desktop, and now we should have some drives here that we can deal with. Okay. So let us go to volume 1. That is currently degraded. So we can click the repair now, and that will show us this new drive that we've got in. Please select drive to repair storage when we've got drive 1. There we go. So that's going to get us back to our capacity. We click next. The following listed drive is not on the compatibility list. I've seen that a few times, but they update the compatibility list all the time. And they've been getting a little bit more hardcore about this compatibility list. But I have Synology NAS running all the time on those without being on the compatibility list. But it's the same drive. It's still a Western Digital Red. They may not, there's like different sub-volumes. They get, like I said, they get very anal about it. All data on the newly added drive will be erased. You want to continue? Yes, because there's nothing on it. And we say OK. And then it's going to be loading, and now we should see a rebuilding sign. So now it shows initialized, and then if we repairing initialized drive 7.89, 13%. So it's getting there. It will take a little while for it to, once it initializes the drive, it will take a little while for it to actually rebuild the whole thing. It's going to index it all and rebuild, add those indexes and that data from the other drives and rebuild that. So it's back to being redundant and having the ability to fail one drive again. Now, the problem is, like I've said before, is I'm putting a new drive in here, and that's new. I mean, it should be able to run and not have any problem. The problem always comes in is that the other 3 drives that are in here that are here, like these 3 drives that are here, these one drive bay 2, 3, and 4, those are old drives. So now what we're going to be doing when we're doing this repair, initialization and repair, and rebuilding this RAID array, is it's going to be stressing out all of those drives. So often there's a chance that once you replace the new drive, it can be stressing out all of those old drives, and then another drive can fail. That's always the risk. So that's where I say keeping fresh media, especially on corporate things in your business NAS and your business storage, keeping the fresh media, the fresh drives in it is good. You're exercising it. you're putting in fresh media, you're maintaining multiple spares so that if something does happen when the thing fails, that you'll be able to recover and replace and update your media in that way. Okay, so there we go. We have one dead drive gone, one new drive in place, and we should be good to go, and our NAS is back in business. All right, well, thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day.